back to Parsons Productions. In today's video, we're going to install on this 2013 Subaru BRZ a couple of new things. We have new taillights, a fourth brake light, and plate lights. So if that's what you came here to see, stay tuned.
So before we start redesigning the stern end of the Subaru BRZ, we need to remove our trunk liner. Take a good peek at what the stock setup looks like. First, we have very water-filled taillights. So you can see I'm low on my blinker fluid.
He's like, there's no such thing as blinker fluid.
Rear fourth brake light looks like this. Very hazy, and it does not illuminate when you step on the brakes. As well, it has halogen bulbs, so it gives it a kind of warm look. Not really what I want to look for, cool sports car look. And then the main reason we're replacing the license plate lights today is my left one decided to do some weird flickering stuff. So it's not ideal. Right now, they're LED bulbs. I swapped those out a long time ago. However, the new ones we have, I believe, has 64 different LEDs. A lot of lumens. I don't know how many lumens, but a lot of lumens. And it's gonna make this area like insanely bright. I don't necessarily know why I want this area so bright, but I do. Okay, so now with the trunk open, our step number one will be to remove our trunk mat. Some of you may not have a trunk mat, but some are fortunate enough.
Some have mats, some are poor.
Some have mats, some are not. Next, we need to remove these clips. There are plastic clips right here. We'll use our plastic removal tool to remove them. Now with our plastic removal tools, as well as our handy lantern, we're gonna go ahead and remove the trunk mat, where we have access to everything we need down below. So, like I said earlier, we have these plastic clips right here. There are a number of them. And just so we don't accidentally bend this at all or warp it, I'm gonna remove the whole thing. You may be able to just get by removing just this one right here. In order to be safe, I'm gonna remove everything just so we have clean access to it and it all stays nice and tidy. And we have 3 more to remove this centerpiece, which is holding these on. We're gonna remove those as well too.
Where did you purchase these?
Well, the taillights were a gift. Fourth brake light, I found that on Amazon. I believe that's a V-Land taillight. And then the license plate lights, I found those on eBay. I will list them all in the description below for further reference. This should just come out like so. This one should pop out nice and tight. Okie doke, I've got my 8mm socket on an impact. You don't need an impact for this, it just makes life a little easier sometimes. Now you can remove these, unplug the harness. Taillight should be out, and there's a total of 4 of them. Last time I had the side things out, I was installing my coilovers. Good times. And now, my rear taillight, my right side taillight, should just come out like so. Really dirty in there. There's one Subaru BRZ taillight. If anyone would like taillights, they're for sale. All right, we have the right side taillight. It's gonna go in just like that. It has a wiring harness on the back and a switch to turn the sequential on and off. Do the honors, since Arya got to pull the first one. So satisfying. Oof. Smoked.
Wow, very different.
Don't mind the car, it's very dirty. There was an adhesive backing on here, which I just peeled off. Now I am pushing down, so it'll create a nice tight seal, so we have no leaks, and that'll prevent water from getting in the car. Can't have watery car. Okay, now with that all secure, we're gonna go ahead and put our 8mm nuts right back on. We'll get them all hand tight at first.
So pretty!
Wow, look at that.
Look at that compared to this.
So once your blinker is installed, you have the screws tightened, the harness plugged in. You'll notice with the blinker on, it'll be doing something like this. It's kind of doing a jumpy, flashy thing. That's where this little fella comes into play. This is what's called a resistor. It is required when installing LED blinkers on a vehicle that does not require LED blinkers. See, the signal for a normal turn signal is much higher because of the halogen bulbs. Now, when you install LEDs, they require much less signal. That's why we need something to reduce signal so it doesn't have that jumpy pattern. We have that nice, even sequential blinker we're looking for. We are gonna install this little fella right after we install the other taillight, as well as the fourth brake light and the license plate lights. Main reason being is because my car is in the air at the moment, and as you can see with our new shelving unit, it is not allowed for the door to open fully, and we need to install this right underneath the dash, so that is going to wait until the car is back on the ground. Goodbye to low blinker fluid. Oh wow, look at that.
Oh my.
That's what happens when you have a bad seal. Good thing I'm topping off my blinker fluid. Well folks, I am very, very glad I did this video today. If you have a spoiler where you put holes in your trunk or there are exposed holes, this may be happening to you if you live in a very rainy climate. We live in the state of Washington, which is, as you know, very wet. Exhibit A. Yeah, that's all water. And that's been riding around there for quite some time because I installed this wing a long time ago. As well as this side is very wet as well too. Oh, there's a washer down there. So we're gonna have to take care of that. We're gonna have to use some methods to get that out. Basically, if you live in a rainy climate and you have holes in your trunk, make sure you check on your trunk because that may be a reason why your car is leaking. Next, it is time to install our fourth brake light. If anyone needs a stock Subaru BRZ fourth brake light, it is for sale. Coming down here, I can take the camera. You can see this is the light itself. And on top, there's 1 and 2 10mm bolts that need to come off, followed by this wiring harness that goes up to the top of the trunk. Okay, so now with the bolts removed, this light should just fall right out. Voila, just like that. And now we have to remove the harness. Over here, you can see this right here is the harness. We're gonna have to figure a way to remove the grommet, and then the harness can slip right through the hole all the way down and out. Okie doke, the brake light is officially installed. The way it works overseas in the land of the rising sun, Japan, where these cars are from originally, they have a fourth brake light. Now in the video that comes with the product, they give you this little harness, and this harness plugs in to this little section right here. However, with the US spec model BRZs, I don't know if it's the 13 to 20 or whatever years they're using, that doesn't work. So you can basically throw this thing away. What you're gonna have to do is there's a blue wire coming out of the harness. Take the blue wire out of there, and you're gonna clip your existing harness, and you're gonna solder, well that's what I did anyway, you can use a T-clip or whatever you need, solder that one in. And then you're going to take the green wire from the actual light itself, which are your running lights, which are these guys, and then that one's gonna go to the red wire on the harness in there. Little bit confusing. It actually was quite simple once I broke it down and kind of understood what the harness was actually telling me. However, I'll turn the car on real quick and you can see the brake light in action. So that's the brake light all taken care of, wiring anyway. Next, to reinstall it, we are going to route the harness back through here and through the little hole. It's just gonna sit right there. 2 10mm bolts, as well as I didn't notice earlier, there was 2 clips, 2 plastic clips on each side. And I've got plenty of replacements of these. Definitely recommend buying like a gigantic box of these because I've broken so many. Do yourself a favor and go buy some. So clean. And with that, everything is all tidied up, it's nice and secure, and man, it looks great. I think that looks far better than the stock fourth brake light, and it actually has a brake light now, and it has the daytime running lights opposed to the other one that didn't. These taillights looking awesome. Now it's time to tackle the license plate lights. The lights themselves aren't that bright. Also, like I said earlier, this one went out, so it's time to replace it. What that's gonna entail is taking all of these plastic clips off and removing this liner, but before I do that, I'm gonna put this liner and that liner back in because I don't want to have a bunch of things just out. Interior is officially back in. Now it's time to transition and remove these plastic clips and pull that down. We'll have access to the lights. Now this will just fall out like so. And now we have access to the license plate lights. You can just take them out like that, and you can see my LEDs I had in there. So these are the lights themselves. They are the whole assembly opposed to just the bulb right here. Now, if you were just replacing the bulb itself, you just pop a new one in, plug it in, and be done. However, if you're using a style like these, what you're gonna need to do is remove 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't believe you'll have to remove the other one or the actual keyhole slot, but you'll remove this whole trim piece off, and then the individual spots will come off. So, and I'll show you in just a second. Once you have this off, these will just pop right off. Mine were on there pretty darn good. They have adhesive that we're glued to there. So I'm gonna clean all this off very, very well, and then we can attach our new ones. Last but not least, that was a pain. So you need to remove the whole trim up here and then swap out the old lights with the new lights, which did off camera, but it's pretty simple. That's the main reason I'm removing this one, because this light is like all flashing and such. But that's what the old one looks like. That's actually pretty bright. And that's what the new one looks like. It's daytime right now and I have the lights off. However, I think they're about the same. Like that's just one of them, of course. Then that's the other one. But I think that one's a lot brighter and it doesn't look crusty like that. So let's wrap it all up. Now underneath the column here, you can see that little gray box looking thing. That is called the flasher, and we installed that just a second ago in order to make the blinkers stop going like all crazy. So now with the power on, headlights on and blinker on, you can see, oh yeah. Well everyone, that wraps up this episode of Parsons Productions. You can see these taillights are looking fresh, super premium. I think they look awesome. I wasn't all that about them at first. However, I have had to change the heart significantly. See, the fourth brake lights and the license plate lights looks great. There you have the reverse lights as well too. And then when you step on the brake, this lower triangle turns on. Thank you again so much for tuning in to another episode of Parsons Productions, and I will catch y'all in the next episode. Until then.